Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and today I'm going to be ranking every deck in the standard format in Pokemon TCG, and this is the Worlds format, and normally I don't really care that much about competitive Pokemon. That being said, I probably would have made a Worlds tier list anyways, but also I am going to be playing in a Pokemon tournament, not Worlds, but the Pittsburgh Regional, which is actually my first regional I'm ever going to play in, so that's going to be cool, I guess. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I have I was gonna say low hopes. I don't know, mediocre hopes. But yeah, I need to kind of know the meta, and I'm going to be taking a look at all these different decks here today and ranking them on this tier list. Also, this is not my tier list. This is kind of scuffed. Not sure what's going on with Charizard and what I believe is Tera Box here. But anyways, we are ranking all these decks here from S through F. S is like super broken. I don't think there's going to be anything in S tier. Then A is going to be like very good, the top tier. I might have some decks in the S, we'll see. Then B tier is like fine, very playable. Not like super amazing though. Probably not a deck that I like super recommend, but not bad. C tier is a deck that is like not super impressive in my opinion. Definitely a deck that's kind of weak. Not bad, not bad, but not. I mean, you could say it's bad. You could say it's bad. D tier is bad. D tier is definitely going to be a bad deck here. Not like unplayably bad, but definitely not good. And then F tier, I don't know if we'll have anything in F tier. I think we will. I'm not super familiar with all of these decks here. But yeah, we might have some in F tier. I'm not sure. I don't know. There's not anything that's clearly in F tier though. There's also a lot of variations of decks, so I'll break them down some, though some are pretty blurry. But I guess I'll just go in order here with Archaludon Poison here, which I guess is B tier. Nothing crazy here. It's a fine deck. You have Archaludon EX, which can do 220 for 3, and it like powers itself up, kind of. And yeah, it's fine. I used to play this deck in the previous format, or maybe the format before that, the Journey Together format, I think, and it's fine. Definitely a cool deck, definitely a decent deck, but not insane either. Then we have the Archaludon Munkidori list. I have not really played Archaludon with Munkidori. I don't think it's good. I used to play it like when I first played Archaludon in Journey Together format. I think I had Munkidori. Then I cut it pretty quickly. It's not super good here. That being said, it's not like horrible in Archaludon either. I'll say it's definitely the worst, like a worse build. I am going to be ordering the decks within the tiers, not that matters too much, but I do think it's worse. Also, make sure you like the video and also subscribe if you haven't to make sure you don't miss any future content. Then the third deck we have here is Archaludon with Zoroark EX. I don't think I played this. I haven't seen it that much either. I've definitely seen the other builds more, but I think it's also fine. Have your draw engines honestly pretty nice. It's not really a big liability, especially with the air balloon, so it might be the best way to play Archaludon, though I don't think there's a huge difference between any of these decks here either. Next up, we have Raging Bolt here. Also, sorry, my voice is kind of tired right now. That's why I paused to get some water. But Raging Bolt EX here is a very good deck. You got two builds, the Noctowl build, the not Noctowl build, and I don't know which where I stand. There are some that also like include I think a thinner line as well, but I don't know where that like falls honestly. But the Noctowl build is like a bunch of Noctowls, and then the no Noctowl obviously is like none. Again, there could be some like kind of in between, but I think Raging Bolt without Noctowl is a little better. I'm gonna put them both in A tier. Raging Bolt is very good in the current format because it's able to one-shot these high HP Pokemon, which most of the Pokemon in the game are. So it's quite good, and it's fast. Being fast is very nice. Going turn one, getting a knockout isn't like amazing because you're kind of looking, to take two prizes every turn, which you're probably not doing with Raging Bolt turn one, but still it is pretty good here. Then we have Ceruledge, 3 different builds. We got like a normal build, which it's okay, I guess, probably B tier, in my opinion. I guess below Archaludon. I'll put it like kind of in the middle here. I'll honestly put it here. Then we got this build with Reveroom, which Reveroom's like fine in the deck, I guess. I'll put it right next to it. And Zoroark EX, I feel like isn't going to be super good in the deck, so I'll pop it here. Again, not like a huge difference. Ceruledge EX is fine. It is able to take like big knockouts, so I think it's a pretty solid deck, but also it's a little slow and it's not very versatile. I mean, you can also use Briar as well. I'm gonna bump it up a little bit here, right around. Honestly, I'll put it like here, I guess. I think they're pretty close, all these decks here, to be honest. But yeah, Ceruledge is not a bad deck. It's kind of comparable to Gholdengo, but it's like it's weaker. You're like, using a lot of energies, going for big one shots on stage 1/1 Pokemon, except obviously you need more energy in other places. But Ceruledge is kind of safer, but less impressive. Then we have Crustle. Crustle isn't very good. I'm not. Well, no, is Crustle good? I played it, and it's probably my third deck I'm playing in Standard right now, and it's kind of fun. It's not. I don't know. I mean, it's good against like some situations. I feel like, and this is like a more competitive tier list, so control decks and stall decks are a little weaker. I think Crustle is okay. I'll put it honestly. I'll put it in the top of B tier. I think it's a decent deck here, right here below that one Ceruledge build. It's able to, wall a lot of good Pokemon. It has some versatility with attacking options as well, not that much, but some. So a decent walling deck here, though not amazing either. Then we have Gholdengo I've been talking about. Honestly, I'm going to put Gholdengo in S tier. I do think Gholdengo is the best deck in Standard right now, probably. It just very strong. It's able to take big knockouts, so it's quite good here. I don't know if is it S tier or is it just A tier. I think it's S tier. And we have Flareon. I think Flareon's fine. I'll put it at the top of B tier. It's like decent, I guess. It's fine. Not the most spectacular deck, but definitely decent here. Then we have Froslass Munkidori. Honestly, I'll just talk about Marnie's here too, I guess. Marnie's is definitely like decent. I guess it's A tier, probably like bottom of A tier. Definitely a decent deck, not insanely good, but pretty good. Like decently consistent because it's like you're doing decent damage. You can push yourself to being taking one shots on some Pokemon, and you have like some like spread aspects and stuff. It's a solid, well-rounded deck. Not amazing though. And then you have the Frostless Munkidori deck, which I would definitely not play. I'm gonna put it, I guess, in C tier. I haven't really seen it because, like, why do you ever play this over Marnie's, where you have an actual attacking option, right? So Frostless Munkidori, not super impressive. It's like kind of fun, but not amazing here. Then you have Cynthia's. I do think Cynthia's is pretty good. I think it's kind of around Marnie's in terms of its power level. If you're not familiar, if you haven't heard my thoughts on the meta, I do think Cynthia's is a decent deck. This is my I don't know. I'm playing Gholdengo and Cynthia's right now, so they're like my two decks. I'm deciding between which one's my main one in this format. I think Cynthia's is really fun, not as good as Gholdengo, but it's very solid. It has a cheap attack, which is very decent, kind of similar to I don't know. It's not one-shotting um like Ceruledge or what's Gholdengo? There we go. It's right there. I can just look. But it is like it's decent damage here, and it's like draw, and it has a lot of HP, which is really nice. I think Munkidori is super bad in the deck. I also think it's really bad in Gholdengo. If you know me, I'm also not like a huge fan of Munkidori. I wouldn't say I'm a Munkidori hater. I think like a lot of people think it's super good for like no reason. I mean, it is good in some situations. But anyways, we'll talk about Munkidori in a second. But obviously, it's good in Marnie's and it's good in Gardevoir. But yeah, it's like it's a pretty straightforward deck, the Cynthia's deck, where you have the Rosary to boost your damage. You can be taking one shots, but it's like a little bit of work there. Then you also can use Cynthia's Spiritomb, which is a very good Pokemon. Cynthia's Spiritomb, not insane, but it's pretty solid. Definitely slept on. I was just saying Munkidori's like not super good, and Cynthia's Spiritomb's super good. Cynthia's Spiritomb is definitely not better than Munkidori, but it is a good card within the Cynthia's deck and can be really good. It kind of depends what your opponent's doing. I think one-shot decks, specifically Gholdengo, are going to be very good. So if they weren't as good, then Cynthia's Spiritomb's like kind of crazy, just as a super powerful single prize Pokemon. But it's still a good deck here. I do think it's decent at the very least. Definitely belonging in A tier in my opinion. At the lower end. Then we have Gardevoir. Honestly, the different builds of Gardevoir, if you look at like Play Limitless, you can see that, or yeah, Play Limitless, you can see there's different builds of Gardevoir. There's like lots of different builds of like different decks, and it's kind of weird. We got Gardevoir, and you have Gardevoir Jellicent, and Gardevoir without Jellicent like plays Jellicent. So I don't actually know exactly how the builds are defined. But anyways, Gardevoir EX, Jellicent EX is good for Gardevoir EX. Gardevoir EX is just kind of good. I think Gardevoir with Jellicent is is very good. I guess I'll say the regular Gardevoir build with like a thinner Jellicent line, which I'm gonna say this list still has some Jellicent, like a 1/1 line, is very good in S tier here, and I'm gonna say this build's in A tier. I mean, they're like super similar. As I said, not sure the dividing line there, but yeah, I mean, Gardevoir is very good. Also, if someone like skips the end of the video and then it's like, wait, the Jellicent is good in Gardevoir, yeah, someone comment down below, respond to them, or I will, saying like, yeah, this includes like a thin Jellicent line, as opposed to like being fully focused on Jellicent EX, where you're not doing necessarily as much damage and you're like a little slower in terms of burst potential. So you have some issues there. Not that it's bad, it's still pretty good, and they're pretty similar anyways. Then we have Joltik Box. Obviously, if you know me, you know I don't think Joltik Box is very good. I do like the Lightning Box with Electric. I like Electric within Joltik. I think Joltik Box decks are not playing Electric, right? I haven't looked at too many, but wait, what was this tournament? This is kind of large. Okay, let me take a look. This is going to give better data than some. I don't think they're playing. Yeah, they're not really playing Electric, just like a tiny bit. And I think if you are, it's like a little better. But it's not some amazing deck in my opinion. The reason why I don't love it, because I do like the cards in it. Like you have some really strong attacking Pokemon that are basics. I like basics. I mean, obviously basics are better than evolutions. Joltik is a cool attacking option for setting your Pokemon up. That being said, Joltik is not going to be setting you up the entire game. It's setting you up some. Then you kind of are relying on other cards to get you powered up, but they're kind of sketchy because you don't have an engine, so you don't have like a draw, like that much draw, and you also don't have you just don't really have support. I mean, you have some support Pokemon, but not like energy acceleration support Pokemon. So it's like kind of sketchy, and you kind of stall out in my opinion. It's not bad though, but it's not great either. I'm gonna put it in. I don't know. I'm still, kind of where I've always thought it is, like B or C. It's probably the bottom of B tier here. Honestly, it's probably better than these Archaludon like lists. I'll put it right here. It's okay. I could see it higher. I could see it as high. Yeah, it's definitely B tier actually. C tier is just like not very good. Joltik is definitely fine. I'm a bit of a hater on the deck, but it's all right. I think definitely a clear B tier deck here in my opinion. Then we have the Miraidon Electric Box. I've not really played this or seen it that much. I played older builds of it, but it's okay. I think I know its win rate on like Limitless is like pretty low. It's a bit of a well, there's two builds right there. I was gonna say like a very fast deck. The one with the Electric isn't as fast, but has more like staying power, I guess. It can accelerate energy throughout the course of the game. The attacking Pokemon aren't as flashy as the Joltik Box, but again, it's like a safer deck, so it's all right. You're not gonna like be able to close out games as well. But in terms of like how good the deck is, which I think includes like if I'd say a good deck has if you do better, like if you have a lot of close losses as opposed to like bad losses, I'd say the deck's better. You could say that it's not. I could see that as well, but I would say it's better. And I think this deck, kind of does. So I'm gonna put it. I'll put it right next, I don't know. It's like right next to Joltik Box. I'll put it one slot above. And then the Turbo Miraidon deck, I guess I'll also put like right here. I don't know. I do like Electric. I think Electric's pretty cool here. So I'll just put these here. I think you'd reorder them. Again, a lot of these decks could be reordered here. Then we have Roaring Moon EX. I also have not really played that much post rotation. I haven't seen it. Like you see it some. It's not like amazing. I'd say it has similarities with Raging Bolt, but Raging Bolt just kind of better. So this deck's okay. Again, another deck I wouldn't really recommend, but it's not a bad deck either. I think it's kind of fun. It has like the poison stuff as well, which is pretty strong. This is probably the best use of poison. Archaludon was playing it for a while, and it's not like amazing in my opinion, but this is a decent deck. Honestly, I'm gonna put this. This is I don't know if it's a hot take, but like near the upper end of B tier here. Again, the decks in the same tier are ordered. That being said, if a deck's like super high in the tier and you think it should be super low, like, it's not that big of a difference. Unlike a different tier, I guess like a low A tier versus high B tier, they're pretty close. But yeah, Roaring Moon, I do think it's like a solid deck, kind of a definite B tier deck. I think it's on the upper end. Next we have, I believe, Pidgeot Control. Pidgeot Control is we talking tournaments, it's pretty bad, right? Because of the tournament rules, which I'm like taking into account, but it's also just kind of like a standard tier list. So it's okay, I guess. I was just talking about it in a video, and it's kind of fun. Well, I was talking about Control. I'd say this is like pretty much all Control. There's also Spidops. I think Spidops is Control here, but I don't know. I'm not very familiar with Spidops either. I don't think it's played very much either. Yeah, here we go. We got Spidops. What's this deck? This is Control. Yeah. So, but I don't know. Like, this is also Pidgeot, so I don't know the difference between this and Pidgeot Control. Because I mean, there's like some distinctions, but there's also a lot of overlap. Anyways, it's like okay. It's not great. There's like good amount. Well, now people have played more Air Balloon actually, so there's like less switching than there was previously. You could get wins with this deck. It's kind of sketchy. I wouldn't recommend it, but honestly, it's a decent deck. I'm gonna put these right next to each other because, as I said, I don't know the difference too well. I'll put them below Crustle and Ceruledge here, I guess. Again, these are like B tier decks. I say like upper end of B tier, but they're all right. Then we have a bunch of Dragapult builds. I have not played. I don't know. I don't like. I've never really seen Dragapult Froslass. I'm gonna be honest. This deck seems. I mean, it doesn't seem bad. I mean, Dragapult's like good, but I'm gonna toss this somewhere in the middle of B tier. Sure, why not? It's like whatever. Not the build that I'd recommend. Same thing with Pidgeot. I think Pidgeot's like a decent build for consistency in the game. But I'll just kind of toss it somewhere. I'll toss it right next to the Pidgeot Control. Sure, why not? And then we got Dragapult Dusknoir, Dragapult Charizard, Dragapult Zoroark, and Dragapult by itself. So I think Dragapult by itself is probably, in my opinion, I don't know, I like it a lot. I think is it the best build? I'm not sure. Dragapult Dusknoir is good as well. Dragapult Charizard is good. I mean, they're all good, right? And then Dragapult Zoroark is good. I don't think Zoroark EX is super necessary, though, to the deck, so I'm also going to kind of toss it. That's not the right deck. I'll toss it right here. No, I'll toss it right here in A tier. I think Dragapult Dusknoir, I guess Dragapult Charizard, in my opinion, Charizard EX is nice for like energy acceleration and as an attack option. It's cool, but it kind of feels like you have like multiple different attackers you're trying to set up, so you're trying to do a bunch, but you don't like they're kind of similar Pokemon. They have like pretty much the same HP. They have differences obviously in what they do, but like I don't know, they're not covering each other super well. Like they're definitely I don't know, they're kind of too similar in my opinion to have them like both take up a lot of deck slots. So I mean the deck's good. I'm gonna put it in A tier like here. It's like a solid A tier deck. Then Dragapult by itself is. I'll put it at the top of A tier, and I'll put Dragapult Dusknoir right above it. I think they're very good. Now I'll put Guardian between, sure. Then we have Tera Box. Tera Box is messed up. I'm not sure why, but it is messed up. So this is Tera Box. I'm pretty sure this is Tera Box. There's also like Flareon, which could be called Tera Box, but Tera Box here, which I haven't seen too much of either in this format. I think it's like decent. That was called just Ogerpon here on Limitless or whatever. Oh wait, it's not playing the Noctowls. I think the Noctowls are still good for like that versatility. You have the Ogerpons and like Ogre's Mask, I guess, and like Energy Switch and stuff going on here, and Lilith Clefairy EX as well. So you have a toolbox deck. And it's a cool deck. It's a fun deck. It's a decent deck here. It's not super strong. The Pokemon in the deck aren't super powerful. You're kind of relying on a weakness or like really good counters, which you won't always have. This deck is okay though. I think it's cool. I do like this deck. I'm not gonna lie. This is obviously the tier list is like all subjective, right? Like there's like kind of right and wrong answers. But like it's pretty subjective. But this is definitely a deck I'm a bit biased towards, I think. So I'm gonna put it. Honestly, I like this deck. I kind of want to put it at the top of B tier. I'll put it like a few below. I don't know if this is like I don't know where people like kind of stand in this deck consensus wise, but I think this is fine. I'm not as high in it as like Cynthia's, which I know I'm a lot higher on than other people. But yeah, then we have Toedscruel. Toedscruel's like kind of whatever, really good in certain Pokemon that it hits for a weakness and like has some versatility and stuff. Has some like counter aspect to it, I guess. But overall, I think Toedscruel's kind of whatever. Honestly, a pretty good deck as a counter deck. I was saying it has like some counter aspect. Where is Toedscruel? Here it is. You got the Toedscruel EX, which is a counter to like Dragapult. You are countering the decks weak to you, like Charizard EX or Marnies or whatever. You also are able to you could counter Munkidori theoretically through your ability as well, and you could also counter like Gholdengo and stuff by using the single price Toedscruel. So it's like an interesting deck here. Definitely kind of intriguing. I do kind of like it. I'm honestly gonna put it at the top of B tier. I think it has something going for it. I don't think it's like a super good deck. But not bad either. I mean, it's a decent. It's certainly not this top crop of decks. I should probably pop it down a little bit, like right here. That's not a big difference, but yeah, it's fine. It's fine. And we have 4 Ethan's builds. Not sure why there's so many Ethan's builds. I don't really think there's that much of a difference between them, to be honest. I played Ethan some when it like came out because like everyone was, and I think they gave it to you for free and stuff. It's not that good, right? It's not bad either. It's gonna be, I imagine, B tier here. Probably I mean, the Dragapult build's kind of weird. I don't know what the Dragapult build means. If it means like playing a bunch of Dragapults or just playing like the Dracloak engine and then like splashing in one Dragapult with like a tiny bit of energy to attack with it. I'm not sure again exactly what this means here. Because I did not create the template because I'm lazy. But yeah, this build is probably it's a good build. I'm gonna say it's not A tier. Like top B tier. It's a decent deck here. Pidgeot build is fine. I don't know what this. No, this is just like the straight build. This one's fine as well. And I wouldn't personally play, but it's kind of cool there. But you don't have you have a multi-prize engine, so not loving it as much. And then we see let's see. We see Ethan's with Pidgeot, which is okay. It's kind of meh. It's like, you're not, I don't know, you have some like rare candies and stuff, so kind of cool. A little swingier, I'd say. But I'll put it in like B tier as well. The B tier is a bit of a mess right now. I usually don't have this many variations on my tier list, but yeah, we got that there. Then we have a bunch of Charizard variants. Charizard EX by itself, or with Pidgeot. Like, presumably with Pidgeot, it's better. It's definitely an A tier deck in my opinion. I think it's better than Charizard Dragapult. Nah, that's kind of crazy. I'll put it here. I'll put it right below Charizard Dragapult. I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty close. How's Ethan's have a 51.6% win rate? That's kind of, I mean, that's not an insane win rate, but that seems kind of high. And then we got Charizard with Dusknoir, which is like good. Charizard with Dusknoir is definitely nice. I think it's a good deck. Honestly, I think it's a very solid deck. Dusknoir synergizes really well with Charizard EX and can target bench Pokemon and stuff. Can really mess with your opponent's setup. So I do like it a lot. It has some really good synergies within the deck. I mean, it's not like that much higher than the other builds, but I'll put it right here. Charizard with Pidgeot, I wouldn't. Or no, Charizard with Noctowl, I would not play. It's not like bad. But it's not very good either. I can't believe I don't have any D tier decks here. But I'll put it. This seems kind of low. But I just really don't like it either. I'm gonna just put it here. Then we have like straight Charizard. Not exactly sure what this is, what straight Charizard is. If it's just like Charizard with some like random support Pokemon, I mean, I might have seen this, but I probably assumed I was against like Charizard Pidgeot EX and they didn't set up very well or something like that. But it's not very good. I would not play this deck. It's not like horrendous. Again, B tier is like all right. But it's not great. And then we have Enzarek EX. Enzarek EX, obviously not super good in the meta, not super terrible. It's like kind of, you got the Enzarmantans and the Enzveshrams. Enzveshram is kind of like Cynthia Spiritomb, kind of reliant on your opponent hitting you and then you not getting knocked out, but can be very good or could be like kind of useless. Then you have Enzarmantan, which is like theoretically good, but like kind of depends on what your opponent has. So a lot of the times your opponent's just kind of able to like not be be very scared of it, and you can't really do too much. And then also you have like energy acceleration issues a little bit. Wait a second, this list does not play much energy acceleration. I feel like normally when I see lists, they play like a lot more, right? Like they play Wurns PP ups and sometimes like other stuff as well. But yeah, we see like no, not even that many reversals here. So honestly, I think the deck is decent. Looking at this list, in my opinion, just doesn't seem very good. I'm gonna be completely honest, but yeah, I mean, you have like good draw. Yeah, that's mostly what you have, right? So I'm gonna put this in C tier. Yeah, sorry, Ends, you're getting popped in C tier. This feels kind of mean. Like the deck's not super bad. C tier is not horrible. This is no like terrible decks here. You could argue Control should be lower, but I think Control has like serious potential as well. You could argue obviously a lot of these decks higher or lower, but tell me down below in the comments your thoughts on the metagame. What decks are super good? What decks are like super overrated, super underrated? Obviously, I have my own opinions. This is not completely consensus, but like some decks I'm much higher on. I'm higher on Cynthia's. I'm higher on that. I'm just a big fan of. Honestly, Cynthia's is the main one I'm a big fan of. I'm a fan of Gholdengo as well. And then and I guess Crustle. But and then you also see stuff like I'm lower on Marnie's, not that much lower on Marnie's now than consensus. I used to be like a lot lower. And then Joltik, I'm like lower on as well. I don't think that deck is very good. I'm gonna say right now, speaking of just the World Championships, I'd be Surprised if we saw Joltik Box in the top 8. Um, it's possible. I don't expect it. I think if we see multiple, I'd be pretty shocked. I'd be like questioning a lot of things. I've been wrong before, right? I'm not a competitive player, really. But again, tell me down below in the comments your thoughts on the metagame. If you like it, if you don't like it, if you think it's going to be exciting, the World Championships, or if you think it's going to be super boring, because sometimes it is. Honestly, a lot of the times the decks are really boring, but I think it'll be kind of cool this year. But I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.